No matter which social media you use, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, and even Twitter are filled with fitness influencers and workout videos. But why is this? Why is it whenever I go online, I can guarantee a video on my homepage related to something along the lines of lifting the 100kg dumbbell, impossible, or today I'm going to challenge myself to run for 45 miles straight? And most of all, why is it that people we know, who may have previously been relatively inactive or unsporty, are getting so into lifting, calisthenics, or whatever activity they may be doing, and what could this mean for people who are heading in the opposite direction? It seems nowadays that you can't go more than 10 minutes online without seeing something fitness related. Whether it's someone trying to sell you supplements or a person documenting their fitness journey, the amount of interest and limelight the fitness industry has received has been enormous. Well, there are a couple of reasons as to why the health and fitness industry has exploded so much in the past few years. Firstly, it's important to remember that this genre has never really been small and has always had a sizable audience. Track and field events have always been popular throughout history, but starting in the 70s on TV, bodybuilding competitions such as Mr. Olympia and Mr. Universe broadcast the possibility of making an extreme change to your body. People such as Arnold Schwarzenegger inspired many to start working out, and even if they didn't follow exactly in his footsteps, which would be pretty difficult, many were inspired just enough to give the gym a go. As well, Arnold subsequently built a successful film career. We saw him and many others, Dolph Lundgren and Claude Van Damme, time and time again appear on the big screen as action heroes, and later some even successfully moved into comedy. It showed people that there was a place in the world for bodybuilders outside of competitions, and gradually helped to normalise the image of a vast man with bulgingly huge muscles into everyday life. Historically, bodybuilding and weightlifting have never really been a mainstream part of society, apart from if you're an athlete or in the army of course. Think back 100 years. Not that you were alive back then, but still. It would be extremely unusual to see someone walk past who was incredibly built up with huge arms, because it wasn't really needed or desired. Without the internet and countless ways of communication, most people just stayed in the same place and stuck around with mostly the same people. If none of your friends or family were particularly interested in weightlifting, why would you then just decide to start working out? Also, especially with bodybuilding at the time, it was almost seen as freakish, as many strongmen would end up in travelling circuses and freak shows, so there wasn't really any societal pressure or bragging rights to gain from working out at all. Lastly, back then, people would be working labour-intensive jobs on farms, factories or in mines, and although they may not look or appear particularly strong, they could very easily handle themselves in everyday life, because, funnily enough, when your job requires you in good physical shape to continue working, you stay in good physical shape, thus eliminating the need to bulk up further. Although bodybuilding was gaining traction from around the 1930s and onwards, it's only been since around the 70s that we began to see more and more everyday people take up lifting, possibly inspired by the bodybuilding competitions that were being broadcast around the world, and as more and more people adopted office jobs and moved away from labour-intensive lives, going to the gym became a more realistic option to incorporate into their weekly routine. Except this wasn't what caused the boom we see today, it merely laid the foundations for it. As technology developed, people gradually were able to see other people's lives broadcast from the comfort of their own homes. This, paired with countless findings out about how the average person's diet was mostly just consisted of fat and sugar, a lot of people wanted to make a change, and nothing fueled this change more than social media. It's human nature to want to look better than other people, and right up there with money, showing how good you look is pretty much the main bragging right to have online, and is even just a flex to show your friends. Hey look, I have abs guys! Now, think about what would happen when millions of people, who now realise that perhaps they aren't living their lives as healthily as they would like to, start watching these picture-perfect influencers, and it's not hard to see why some people have started working out. Because for many people, every time they see a post about someone who has just set a new PR or achieved a fitness goal, they feel left behind or simply inspired. And even if you don't feel this way right off the bat, for many it can mount up subconsciously until they suddenly think, fine, I'll give the gym a go. Then they may see some progress, and whether placebo or not, convince their friends to join, almost like a snowball effect. And today, going to the gym is easier than ever, with new gyms popping up every day because the fitness industry realised charging people for membership to gyms that they go to 3 times a year is a goldmine, and monthly membership prices affordable to nearly everybody, even 14-year-olds with part-time jobs. It's becoming more and more easy to attend, and even if you can't make it, it doesn't really matter, as you can now just buy weights, pull-up bars and resistance bands, and have them delivered the next day to your house. And although COVID did have a major impact on the financial situation gyms were in, as soon as the world opened up again, people came straight back. along with many others who previously had never gone, as they were trying to get into shape after probably letting themselves go a bit in the months they couldn't go out. Now these are just a few reasons why gym memberships have skyrocketed over the last couple of years. However, I think the absolute main factor, and why I even started going in the first place, was because people around me were going as well. Whether it was family members or friends inside or outside of school, I started hearing about people going to the gym, and when you hear this, at least for me anyway, I thought, well, loads of people are giving it a go, why don't I try? Now I won't say that after starting my life became all about fitness, but I definitely enjoyed it, and it was fun comparing and challenging people who were also going to the gym at the same time. Paired with now having the internet readily available to search up tutorials and workout routines for people at home or in the gym, and having several bold men telling you to go to the gym for motivation on a daily basis,
Make those gains! So get out of bed and go to the gym!
there really aren't that many reasons to not be going. Although, this could lead to something else. Despite the amount of people taking their health into their own hands and trying to change for better, there are also a vast number of people who are going in the opposite direction. With supermarkets filled with the most heart attack inducing food you can find, paired with, even despite the cost of living, extremely cheap prices, so many are spiralling in the other direction. Although some people saw COVID as a further wake up call to their health, others were locked in a cycle of eating and doing little to no exercise, which they are still in today. And take this next part with a grain of salt, but I feel as if we will start to see less and less just average people. Now, of course I'm not saying there'll be more bodybuilders than non-bodybuilders, but the amount of people who are in good shape but don't do any sort of sport or lifting will go down, as the amount of gym memberships rise and the ability to function in life way beyond what is healthy becomes easier and easier. Each end of the spectrum today might be stretched in a not so distant future. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.